I agreed to an open relationship because my girlfriend wanted it, and it ruined her life. My girlfriend, 24, and I, 27, decided to transition to an open relationship after 5 years of monogamy. We started dating in high school, but when I went to college, we broke up. I thought maybe she didn't like me anymore, but years later, she admitted she ended things because she knew I needed to spread my wings and live my college life. While I was in college, her mother became extremely strict after learning she'd had a boyfriend and lost her virginity. She banned her from seeing friends or going out, and since she was financially dependent on her mother, even after starting college, she remained under her control. I dated other girls, enjoyed life, though I still miss my ex. Meanwhile, she was practically locked at home. When we finally got back together, she told me how her mother treated her, and I shared stories of my college adventures. In 2016, we moved in together and have lived together since. Over the past year, she started saying she wanted to try something new. I felt jealous in theory, but understood her. The first time we considered opening our relationship, the guy she liked turned out to be a jerk, and she dropped the idea for a while. But a few weeks ago, she met a work colleague and said she wanted to try with him. They were constantly texting but hadn't been intimate yet. Meanwhile, I signed up for dating apps and tried meeting someone too. The more I did, the more I realized I didn't want anyone else. I only wanted to be with her and spend time with her. It's been tough. We barely see each other during the week because I'm at work, and on my days off, she's with him. I feel like I've been pushed to the background in this experiment, and I'm incredibly lonely and isolated. I don't know what to do. Every time I try to talk about my feelings, she suggests ending it and returning to monogamy. I feel like I need someone to share my emotions with and sort out my feelings. I've already scheduled a session with a therapist, which should help. I'm certain that after we opened our relationship, the spark between us started fading. On July 7th, 2022, after 5 years of monogamy, we decided to try an open relationship because she wanted more intimate experiences, a desire stemming from growing up in an overly strict family. From the start, we faced challenges. I'm naturally monogamous and couldn't easily find a partner, while she quickly made new connections and went on dates. Things improved when I started therapy and learned to express my emotions in a healthy way. Our relationship remained stable, and even got better after I learned to communicate my feelings properly. I met a woman who became not just a good friend, but also a great sexual partner. That's when I realized, unlike my girlfriend, I can't be intimate with strangers without an emotional connection, and I don't really crave more intimate experiences since I had so much freedom in my life. My girlfriend started getting jealous of my new partner and tried to interfere, constantly calling when I was with her, or trying to seduce me right before I'd leave. Over time, I noticed a pattern. Before, my girlfriend was very responsible. Even when we had little money, she managed it well, worked a steady job with a fixed schedule, and last fall, enrolled in college to boost her career prospects. But the closer we got to an open relationship, the more she started to spiral. She spent her entire salary on tattoos and piercings. I didn't mind since I like self-expression. But then she started clashing with her boss, showing up hours late, and leaving work without notice. Her college grades tanked. She stopped attending classes altogether, not even knowing when exams or spring break were, missing the end of the semester entirely. A month or two after I started seeing my new partner and growing closer to her, my girlfriend took a 2-month leave, claiming it was for her mental health. I suggested therapy, but she refused. She stopped seeing most of her casual partners, focusing on one man she'd disappear with for days. This might have worried me more, if not for my new 12-hour work schedule. She said she hated being home alone, and given how much I work, I understood why she sought company. But then she started ordering food delivery. She doesn't have a car or license, so I always bought groceries and ensured we had food. There was no need for it. Since she wasn't earning, she spent my money. It felt like she'd lost all sense of responsibility. When I tried talking about money or how she did nothing all day but order food or stay in bed, she got irritated. When I attempted an honest conversation about our relationship, she shut down, saying she didn't notice any changes and maybe I was imagining things. Eventually, she quit her job, didn't find a new one, and it led to me distancing myself, physically and emotionally, because my needs in the relationship weren't being met. She noticed immediately, thinking I no longer found her attractive, upset that I stopped initiating intimacy. I tried to fix it, explaining how I felt and why I struggled to want intimacy, but she took it as me constantly making her the problem. Now, we have no intimacy, not even hugs. We talk a lot, but mostly about her partner. I barely see her. I still try initiating intimacy, but she's always tired, on her period, or has some excuse. When she wants intimacy, it's at the most inconvenient times. We haven't been intimate in almost 2 months. I want to talk about it, but every time I bring it up, she gets irritated, threatens to break up, or says I always seem dissatisfied with her. Yet she keeps saying she wants to marry me and can't imagine life with anyone else, which is confusing. My current theory is this: I need maturity in life, and the partner I started seeing is just that, responsible yet fun, with a sense of balance and fairness. My girlfriend, though, seems to seek only carefree fun and availability. Her partner embodies that. He has nothing of his own, rarely works, and is always ready for intimacy, no matter the circumstances. I don't want to break up with her. I remember who she was and know who I fell in love with, but I don't like who she's become. We've discussed couples therapy when our finances stabilize, but honestly, she doesn't seem interested. I don't know what to do next. So, I suggest pausing the video and sharing in the comments what you'd advise the author of this story. Now, let's move to the updates. Update 1. The same day I posted this, my girlfriend got a call from her mother, the main source of her childhood trauma. Since moving out, their relationship had been superficial. Her mother revealed that her brother had a psychotic break due to years of isolation as a teen and admitted her parenting mistakes, apologizing to her. This seemed to unlock something in my girlfriend. She unleashed years of pent-up resentment, telling her mother she's starting therapy because she doesn't want to become her or inflict the same pain she endured as a child. I'm not sure how sincere she was. She was very emotional, but last week, she got a new job and is applying for a second. She said she realizes how much free time this year negatively affected her and wants to work for emotional and financial independence. This is great, but many of you in the comments raised an important point. I need to figure out what I want. I don't think jumping into another relationship right now is wise. I realize I have the right to voice my desires, set boundaries, and live comfortably, but relationships require mutual work. I have a lot to think about, and I'll update if anything changes. Update 2. It's been a few months, and I decided to write an update for those still interested. About a week after my first post, I realized the situation wasn't improving. I talked to friends, and they unanimously said we should break up. Ultimately, the decision was mine, and after rereading the comments, I realized I deserved to figure out how I want to live. So, I broke up with my girlfriend, explaining all the reasons. I listed the things I didn't like, and what she'd need to change for us to ever have a chance again. She cried, and we discussed it over the phone since meeting in person didn't work out. She was rarely home when I was. She seemed to understand my points, saying she'd work on herself. By then, our lease was ending. I found a new place with a roommate, but she assumed she'd move in with me. I considered it but realized it was a bad idea, especially after she started freaking out about my friends, saying she wanted to harm them for supporting my decision to break up. I told her she couldn't move in with me. She moved in with the guy she'd been seeing but kept contacting me, never trying to change, just complaining about how awful he is and her issues with him. She quickly realized he's abusive and their relationship is toxic. I drew parallels between her current situation and ours, and she apologized. I started therapy again, and since then, I've been doing great. My finances are more stable than ever, and I'm dating the woman I started seeing before. These are the easiest relationships I've ever had. Our communication styles match, and we show care and affection similarly. At first, it felt strange because I'd been living in chaos and toxicity. Now, I finally feel I have a partner on the same wavelength, reliable and supportive. It took time to unlearn codependent habits and realize I can have personal space and freedom in a relationship. I returned to my hobbies, started going to the gym again, and realized how much I endured and sacrificed for my ex. I was furious. My therapist said directing frustration at her isn't healthy, so I now spend my time more productively and creatively.